Hello, we are back again. It's another Thursday night. While we're not quite as locked down as we have been, I hope some of you have been getting out. I've been managing to get out paddling a little bit, doing some day paddles, which has been amazing. Obviously, you can see tonight I am here with Sean Rowley. How are you doing, Sean?
I'm not doing too shabby. Still alive and kicking and having a great time.
That's amazing.
Almost didn't make it tonight.
Oh, really?
No, my wife had to remind me about social graces and etiquette. I've been sitting down in my basement for two months working, all alone from home. When I came downstairs, and she says, "Clothes. You need clothes."
Oh boy! Well, I can only see from here up, so I'm hoping you have something on below there. But
your guess as good as everybody else.
That's right. Well, cool. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Okay.
So tonight we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. We'll talk about just general outdoor stuff, what kind of stuff you like to do. We'll talk a bit about things like the Paddling Adventures radio podcast that you do, and everyone else will definitely take your questions. So what I suggest in the feed is either type in 2 Men in a Canoe, the channel name. That will highlight, and I'll be able to easily see it. If you can't do that, type in at the beginning question in all caps, and it will make it a little bit easier to see. We actually already have a question right there, so we will get back to that. That's Steve. We'll get back to your question in a minute or two. But let's start with you, Sean. What in general, what kind of outdoor things do you like to do?
I just like being outdoors, tell you the truth. Yeah. Especially now. You know what? My big thing is just being outdoors, being in nature, anywhere near forest, anywhere near water. So anything with the hike. I'm not like a long distance hiker with the pack on my back and all that sort of thing, but I like going out day hiking. Of course, I like paddling. I mean, that's just a given, right? But yeah, anything with water, anything in the forest, anything with a path that I can travel down. Camping, and that sort of thing, fishing, anything outdoor. I mean, I grew up outdoors, so
now,
all that sort of thing.
We've talked about it in the past, but so you've been, like I said, grown up in the outdoors. How did you get into in canoeing, for instance? And what is it that you really like about canoeing?
I got into canoeing because I was poor. If you want the truth, I got into canoeing because when my wife and I got together, we weren't married at the time, but we said, you know what, I want to get a fishing boat. So I was looking at those big Ranger boats with the big motors on it. The bass boats go zipping across a lake, quickly do my fishing up, go zip somewhere else, place to place, because that's what I wanted. Then I went looking, and we looked at the price tag, and we looked at the bank book. And then we looked at a little aluminum boat, like a 12-foot aluminum boat, and a trailer, and the price tag. Oh, look, a canoe. I used to canoe when I was 15.
Just out of curiosity, what kind of canoe are you getting? Because canoes are pretty darn pricey as well. Holy cow.
At the time, it was basically a cottage canoe. It was a flat bottom, wide freighter, fiberglass, 100-pound canoe.
Okay, yeah, that'd be cheaper.
You know what though? That lasted us forever. That has been places that it should never have gone.
Wow, that's cool.
I was talking to Stephen Coots about canoe polling, and the first time I went with him there, I had my Swift Prospector Kevlar Fusion all nice, and he just looked like, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. This thing's gonna go place, and because it was new at the time.
Right.
So yeah, it was like it's meant to be used. You're gonna get scratches.
Yeah.
So use it and have fun with it. Yeah, it was a bit pricey, but in the off season, you take care of it. You nurse it back to as good a health as you can. But yeah, we took that thing everywhere, and that got me started. I can't remember the first time I actually said, I'm taking this on a canoe trip. Yeah. Because I know I was getting in Algonquin Park. I was doing some forum stuff, wanted to do the camping. And something just piqued my interest. And I decided I was going to my very first solo canoe trip in this big beast of a canoe. I'm paddling to north end of Opiongo.
Wow.
I did it. It was fun. I had a blast. Came back and no looking back after that.
Nice.
Like, yeah, get the kids into it, get the wife into it, met a whole bunch of friends. Yeah, and rest is history, as they say.
That's great. Now, you also, obviously, you host the Paddling Adventures radio podcast. Tell me a little bit about that for anybody who doesn't know what it is.
Paddling Adventures Radio podcast is a podcast we do. It is released every Thursday morning, somewhere between 5 in the morning and 9 in the morning, depending on how late we stayed up editing and everything the night before. Every Thursday, and it's all types of paddling. We're my co-host Derek Specht and I are hardcore canoe trippers. We've been doing canoe tripping forever, but we've gotten into. I now own a kayak.
Yeah.
So does Derek. Through the podcast, we've gotten into all types of paddling. We've done paddle boarding. The kayaking. I really enjoy the kayaking. Never thought I would, and we even discover things that are just weird all around around the world. We find different things, different types, dragon boating, from people paddling just little craft that you wouldn't think would float, sort of thing, right? As long as it has a paddle, we're good.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we talk to people all over the world. We have people come visit us. We've met people from all over the country. We got one friend, we call him Yukon Steve because he's from the Yukon and his name's Steve. He touches base and says, "I'm driving through. You want to stop for a beer?" And I'm okay.
Nice.
So it's really cool that like the gear that we find, the stories we find, the canoe pulling.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
I discovered canoe pulling because I was searching the internet for weird stuff about canoeing, and I came across these guys down in Maine that's what they used to do. They'd stand up in a canoe with a 12-foot pole and push themselves up and down rapids, and I'm like, that's kind of odd. And just found Stephen Coots out in Guelph, and with Paddle Canada, he taught us for the weekend, learn how to pull a canoe.
Nice.
And it was like, that's awesome,
Do you find that, because I found this in doing, when I was shooting Get Outside, because I got to do different things with different people, do things that I hadn't done before, and meet other people that I wouldn't necessarily have met before. I mean, for me, that I find is a very enriching thing. You get to learn a lot more about just the things that you love, and I'm sure you find the same with all the interesting people that you talk to.
You know what? I have to say, with the paddling community, a lot of people, like I'd say 99% of the people, are willing to share, to talk about it, throw tips and tricks your way, everything. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I say, that's basically how I got started into it, because a whole bunch of people that did do the canoe tripping, oh, you got to check this out, you got to check this out. And you go out with your first gear and you meet up with some people and they go, oh, you know what, that'll make that easier is do this. And then, so the next time you're doing that and you're going, oh man, that is so much easier. and so, and it just grows, and everybody in the community helps you grow.
Yeah.
And, you think it's just going to be a straight line, but like I say, with some people, it ends up going zigzagging left or right, and you find something totally different.
Yeah.
Do
you find too, I've asked this of other people too, that do a lot of outdoor stuff, camping and so on. And with things like, podcasts that people can listen to, YouTube channels that people can subscribe to and learn about outdoor stuff. And I mean, it's great because you can learn from other people's mistakes versus learning from your own mistakes. But I know I learned mostly from my own mistakes. I'm sure you learned mostly from your own mistakes. If you had to do it over again, would you prefer to learn from other people's, or would you still want to learn from your own mistakes?
I think I'd still learn from my own mistakes. I haven't made any real doozies that I can remember. I have learned things, other people have made mistakes, and I've learned, okay, don't do that. As I'm thinking, well, that wasn't too smart on your behalf. But, you're sitting there going, oh, well, apparently that's what's going to happen if I do that.
Yeah.
Good thing. Yeah, you know what? You learn from other people's mistakes, and they'll tell you, oh, you know, I tried that once, and here's what happened, sort of
Yeah,
thing. So,
yeah.
but there's always that. Well, that happened to you.
That's right.
Doesn't mean
Yeah.
it's going to happen to me. And then when they're not around, you try it, and it happens to you.
Maybe that's the best of both worlds. You see how you're
Yeah,
not supposed to do it, and you go, I'm going to try it anyway. And then you go, oh, okay, that's why.
yeah. See that red button? Don't press that red button. Well, now that you said don't press the red button.
Exactly. Yeah. That's awesome. And one more thing I want to talk to you before we get to a few questions is the film festival, the paddling film festival.
Yeah.
This year was the first time I got a chance to go to it, and I was amazed at the amazing quality of the films that were there. How did you get started with that, and then how does it work?
Um. Oh man, about 10 years ago, some guy I knew through one of the Algonquin park forums had said, "Hey, like I'm in Oshawa, you're in Ajax. There's a film festival being held. Are you interested?" Well, okay. Meet somebody new and you go for a couple beers, watch some paddling films and stuff like that. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And then I hadn't been to it for a few years because it just wasn't happening in our area. And then when we started the film festival, I said, you know, it would be really cool to help, since we are a paddling podcast, let's see about hosting the film festival. So we looked into it and all that. And I do like the way they do it in the fact that they have an area.
Right.
And in that area, only one group gets to show the film festival. So you're not, because most of them are clubs and that trying to raise some funds for, you know, their canoe club or their school projects or scout groups or something like that. So no one in our geographical area there was the big main one downtown, which Complete Paddler does. They host the big main first one of the year, the premiere, right? There was another one out in Port Hope, another one up in Peterborough. So we fell right in the middle of all that.
Nice.
And they said, yeah, okay, go ahead. So we did all our stuff. We got a bar out in Whitby that we had some TVs and stuff and did it there. And there was it was cool. We learned a few things about, we need bigger TVs, bigger area. And then the following year, we hit the place near my house. And we walked in and said, well, check this place out. And they go downstairs to this big open bar where they hold bands come down there, like cover bands and stuff. And they got like 608-inch TVs. Like these things and you're just like, okay, so let's book now. And we've been holding it there the last few years.
Nice.
We get like 100 people come down, on a Tuesday night. And, they have a couple of drinks with their paddling friends. They have dinner. Watch all these films from all over the world. Like phenomenal. Some of these films, you're just like, wow. Even the bartenders, like they're not into paddling, and you're like, can I get a beer? Wow. No, dude, can I get a beer? Oh yeah, I'm watching this film over here. They get right into it as well. And the quality of some of these films are
there was some really good ones. Now. When I for this year, were you close to selling out? Because I'm like it would seem pretty packed. You might actually need to have a bigger place to go to.
You know what? And that's exactly it. We were at our limit.
Yeah.
It would have any more people, and it would have been standing room only.
Yeah.
Which you don't want to. I mean, there was a couple seats at the bar left and stuff like that. You don't want to pack it so much that people are, oh yeah, yay. But we get enough people in there to cover our costs, make a couple dollars to, all these glorified equipment that we buy to host the podcast and all that sort of stuff. It's for us, it's not a moneymaker. For us, it's what, those guys at that table, they're all kayakers. Oh, there's a bunch of stand-up paddleboarders over there because, that's our buddy over there and he's taking us out stand-up paddleboarding. Hey, my canoe tripping friends over there, that sort of stuff. So everybody gets together.
Yeah.
And they see these films. So all the kayakers are watching. There's one a couple years ago, The Eyes of God, and they're going. I think it was in South America. They're going down all these ravines and gorges and white water, and you can see their eyes are all just lighting up watching these films. And I said, that's what it's about.
Yeah,
you get together with your paddle buddies. You're watching all these films and having a great time. And it's great to see that sort of thing.
Yeah. I found it very inspiring. Some of the films this year, like there was one in the Antarctic, and I'm thinking, oh god, that'd be
Yeah.
an amazing place to go. Even the one in the Northwest Territories looked like buggy as hell, but it still looked like the kind of trip that you just would love to do. Like it was like what, a couple of months long or so. It was crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When you start getting, and that's our big thing is, who gets that kind of time off work? My boss would look at me going, "Yeah, you can have a couple months off and just keep on going."
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
You know.
Awesome. Well, let's go through some questions here. Let's see. First one, Steve, you asked a question. I'm not sure what the question means. Can you re-ask it, and we'll get to that. Let's see. What do we got here? Questions. We got a lot of people watching. How is everybody doing? Do we have more questions? Have you seen any yet?
Yeah. No, I will never cut my beard. Everybody asks about the beard. The beard was. I surprised my wife with a trip to Iceland a few years back. So I just started growing it so that you get that Viking look, and she's like, "Why? Oh, you'll see. Why are you growing it? You'll see."
Nice.
And then I surprised her with this trip to Iceland. I full on was going to shave it after I got back, right? But by that time, we'd been doing the show for a year and a half. I would go places and people would recognize me because of the beard.
Right.
So it sort of became a trademark thing, and we joke about it. And
how long did it take to grow to where it is today?
To fill out and everything like this, probably about a year and a half.
Oh wow.
And then you just give it trims every so often.
Yeah,
and
you see, once we got locked down with COVID, I had already been winter camping and I hadn't shaved from that. And I was going to let it grow, but I got to the itchy point, and I'm like, and first of all, mine's all spotty and patchy anyway. So yeah, I don't think I could get anywhere near that.
Because some of the people we know, all of a sudden, I'm shaving, doing the shaving thing.
I noticed that, yeah.
And we're like, quitter.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So,
let's see. Oh, Tom. How you doing, Tom? Apart from Algonquin, what other regions do you enjoy tripping?
I've gotten back into Temagami. If you're into no real good portages, into a lot of boulders and rocks, if you're into portaging like a billy goat, rock to rock to rock, rapids, real quiet wilderness, Temagami is definitely for you.
Yeah.
I would fully, if you get your teeth cut on places like Algonquin, you need to graduate up into Temagami.
Yeah.
Definitely get into Temagami.
I have not been there yet. I really want to. I mean, you go there. I know Camp Christina goes there. A lot of people go there. I guess for the people that go there regularly, it's kind of the catch of promoting and talking about a place so much is you end up with more people going there, and then it becomes overrun with all the people that go there. But
Algonquin was the place to go and has become the place to go. I really like Algonquin, but it's so crowded.
Yeah, it is.
I only take people that are not experienced trippers there.
Yeah.
Because it's easier for them. It'll get them the taste of it.
Have you found it's not been over that many years, maybe over the last even 5 years, it's become way busier. Like Algonquin, I would never, ever reserve a backcountry trip. You would just go, let's go, and you'd be able to get a lake, no problem, the lakes you want. And now there's sometimes you cannot get a lake. It's crazy.
Yeah. Now I've noticed that people are starting to migrate the last couple of years over to Killarney.
Yes. Yeah.
Now you can't get a spot in Killarney.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're all sort of going up to Temagami, But then I head back up to the Moose River, up to Moosonee, James Bay. I used to live in Moosonee when I was a kid. My dad was stationed. Nice. So I've gotten back up into there, and it's really, that's sort of, I don't mind the bugs.
Yeah.
Whatever. But yeah, so yes. And then, then I just turn around totally, and I'm into the paddle local.
Yeah, I've been doing that a lot recently too. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of local paddling. You find all these little places that you just don't think about, right?
I've been paddling, obviously I live in Ajax, so there's Duffin's Creek, so I've paddled up that. I managed to get almost up to the 401, which if you know Duffin's Creek, it's, That's a good 6 or 7 kilometers up, and you have to go through a golf course, and it gets narrower and more faster flowing there. There were golfers actually when I went, and I noticed golf balls in the bottom of the stream, so I was a little concerned I could get hit. But I've also paddled along the shore of Lake Ontario when it's been calm. It is beautiful, and it's just a neat, different way to see the waterfront. Like,
if you can hit Lake Ontario on a weekend morning, like sunrise, wow, absolutely wow. Yeah. You get that sunrise cruise down the shore of Lake Ontario like glass.
Yeah, it's
and
amazing.
Then close to the afternoon, the winds start picking up and shoot you straight up.
Well, I have this year. I already did one trip because I'm about 500 meters from the lake, so it's fantastic. I can just portage my canoe down there, put in, and I did that one morning when it was calm. Paddled like 3 kilometers over to Duffin's Creek. Paddled all the way up Duffin's Creek as far as I could. Turned around, came back. By the time I got back, the lake was rough. And I had a 3-kilometer portage to get back home. So things like that will happen when you're dealing with a big lake. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Dennis has a good question here for you. Dennis from Canoe Hound Adventures. Hi, Dennis. How you doing? What is the most exciting part or the thing you enjoy most about producing a podcast that deals with paddle sports?
The best part about it is Thursday morning when I get that thing saying, "Hey, your show's up." It's like, okay, it all worked. No, the best part is getting the emails and the phone calls and the texts and everything and the messages saying, "Hey, just listen to it," and it's really cool that you guys can do all that over there. I'm from Germany.
Oh, nice.
I'm from Australia. I'm from the Czech, like from the Czech Republic. I'm from Brazil. That sort of thing. You're getting all these messages and saying, and you're like, dude, anytime you're coming this way, like you get some guy from Australia heading over this way because they want to do some camping and some canoeing and stuff like that, hit me up. Yeah. Because even if I don't have the time to go, I've got 50 people I know that can gladly drop at the hat, head over with you.
It's cool, right? You do find there's a lot of people who will do that for somebody new. Like I love taking people who've not gone before. It's one of the most amazing things to take people out that haven't done it before, which is fantastic.
Well, there was a couple last year, and they've been listening to our show. And of course, we say, you know what? Go to Algonquin Outfitters. They have all the gear. They'll give you all the maps. They give you a guide if you need one. Go through Algonquin Park. Really cool. There was a couple that are kayakers from the Channel Islands, just between France and England. They listened to the show. They called up. They booked a 9-day trip. They did Algonquin. They came down to Toronto, met up with us for beers, and dinner for an evening, and they loved it. They absolutely loved it. So to know that what you're telling people, they're listening to and experience what you're telling them is really cool. Really cool.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Steve's question here. So I guess you're coming to Canada to do a trip. What should I be looking for in renting a canoe from an outfitter?
I think most of them are the same. The canoes that you're renting from. Try to make sure if they can get it to your access point. Yeah. Make sure they supply the PFDs. Make sure they're supplying the paddles plus a spare. Make sure they have the safety kits. PFDs, paddles, safety kits, some ropes. If you're driving, make sure they tell you and teach you how to put it on your roof and tie it down properly. Yeah. Because you don't want to, I just tie it down like this, and then you're zipping along and all of a sudden your canoe goes flying off. So you're out of canoe. You've now got to pay the outfitter for that canoe. And your trip is out the door, right? Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of outfitters depending where, like if you're going to Algonquin, they'll drop that canoe off at whatever place you're leaving, whatever access point you're leaving from. So you go there, you get your canoe, you toodly-doo out your trip, you come back, you leave the canoe there, and you're on your merry way. So it's one less thing toting it around, dropping it off, picking it up.
Yeah, because that takes a lot of time out of your first day that you want to be out there paddling.
Yeah, and I'm one of those guys that I want to be on the water first light. So I'm leaving at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I'm a little less like that. I might leave at first light from home.
Yeah. I'll drive in the dark because the minute that sun's peeking over the horizon, my canoe's loaded and I'm off.
Nice. Hi, Karina. Karina from Alexis Outdoors is watching. For everybody who's watching, we're going to have a chat, Karina from Alexis Outdoors, next Thursday. So that should be fun as well. Let's see. What other questions we got? Da, 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 da. Oh, so it's just some general highs. In your travels, what have been some of the most, I guess, the most memorable things that's happened on a trip, and maybe what is the most challenging thing, or maybe the kind of thing where you thought to yourself, "Why the heck am I doing this?" kind of thing.
Oh, there's a lot of them. There's been some memorable moments where I have a buddy whose dad passed when he was very young, so he's never had the outdoor experience. I took him on I've taken him on a couple of canoe trips. Totally wiped him out on the first one. Like the day we're coming out, he is so tired after a week in the bush, paddling and portaging. We're having this chit chat about what we're going to have when we get back to town, right? So we're coming down the lake, and we're a couple miles to paddle until we hit the vehicles and head for a burger. And I notice his paddle is bumping on the water, sleeping.
Oh, you're kidding me! Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, that just to this day, same guy. We were on a canoe trip, and a bunch of thunderstorms converged on one spot. Lightning hit the tree next to our tent. Top of the tree came down through our tent.
Oh.
Yeah, we weren't in it, but just things like that. As for what am I doing here, there's woodland caribou. I was given not as much warning to go as I would have liked. I like to prepare. I get the nickname dossier because I prepare a bit too much at times. But there were some areas that I'm like, what am I doing this for? Because you're going through where a forest fire was.
Oh, yeah.
And you got your pack on, you got the canoe on, and you're trying to lift a leg over this log that's burnt, and everything's black by the end of the day. You look back afterwards and you're like, that was really cool experiencing that.
Yeah.
But at the time, you're like, really? Like I need this. And it's hot and
Yeah, I find that's always the way. It's the moments that really suck when you're out there that are the ones that make the best stories when you're telling them back.
Yeah.
It's rare to actually get a trip that's all nice and perfect, but those, honestly, what's your story going to be? Well, we had great weather. It was nice. Like that's about it, right? You need those things to go wrong or be hard for it to be interesting.
Yeah. People know that I'm not a big fan of snakes.
Oh.
We were up on Sunbeam Lake in Algonquin Park, and usually when the groups I go with will paddle somewhere during the day. We'll stop somewhere, have some lunch, maybe have a little nice snooze in the sun. And I'm sitting there, I'm laying down, got my head on my day pack and my PFD, got my hat over my face, and having a little snooze. And something wasn't right. So there's just my spidey sense was tingling, and I'm listening, and I can hear my buddies sort of giggly talking. So I stood up, take my hat off, and they're herding this garter snake towards my head. Right? It's like, really, guys? Friends like
amazing.
That. Yeah, those are the kinds of things that you remember for a long time.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, a snake isn't really the biggest of wildlife, but what's the coolest wildlife you've seen out there?
We've had moose come right through our site. I was on a portage, and I was on a solo trip November, and as I'm going across this portage, I see something on the ground, and it was steaming. Bear scat.
Wow.
Just because it was cold. And
yeah. So it was brand new.
I'm thinking, like this. The ultimate, and I'm so glad I have buddies that can vouch for this story, is we're coming out of McCraney, going over to Clara. And they were tootling around through Clara. There's a waterfall. I wanted to go back and do some video and do some pictures. So I've got my canoe on my shoulder. I got my pack on. Of course, my camera's in the pack. And I'm cruising by, and I know there's the waterfall, because the top of the waterfall you got to walk over that on the portage.
Yeah.
And so I can hear it, so I know, okay, I'll lift up the front of my canoe and take a peek. There's a black wolf standing there.
Nice.
He's on one side, I'm on the other. And like I say, it's probably like 20 seconds we're eyeballing each other. And all I can think of is, why did you put your camera in your backpack?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm sitting there. I just took a really nice look. You know, he's eyeing me. I'm eyeing him. Then I figure, okay, I've got to try. And because I knew my buddies they were right behind me, sort of thing. So as I start to take the canoe off, he all of a sudden, because out of the water comes out of an old beaver meadow.
Oh, yeah.
So you know they were up there somewhere, right? And so I start doing that. He beelines it up there. My buddies come around the corner, and all they see is his back end.
Wow.
Jumping. And I'm like, thank God you guys saw that. But yeah, that, like, to this day, that's probably the best wildlife experience
Nice.
I've ever had.
I mean, it's thrilling. I've seen a bear a couple of times now. Once was on a trail. It was pretty close. But last week, I went up to Algonquin just for a day paddle. I was on my own on the Oxtongue River, just put in by Western Uplands Trail. Yep. And maybe 2 or 3 bends in, I hear something on the bank, and there was a wolf right there, just in the bushes, sort of looking at me, walking back and forth a little bit. And then, of course, I went to try and get my camera, and it takes off. So it happened. Yeah. It's true. It did happen. I did see it. I just don't have footage of it. That was that. It is amazing. I mean, a bear is amazing, but for some reason, a wolf is. I get maybe a wolf was rarer, so it's really, really cool.
Yeah, well, and we've done there's a black fox portage up there, which they also, I guess, runs through one of the dog sled trails. We went up one winter because so we'll walk the portage. Mm-hmm. We'll see some of this stuff in winter. Cross a couple of lakes up there, and we stopped and we heard wolves like barking, even some howls and stuff like that. They were actually chasing down a moose.
Wow.
Because we could see where the moose had bedded down, and where it went, and then we could see all the wolf tracks following, right? So we followed a bit, but it's like, what are we going to do if we actually catch up to them? All right, so back to the portage we go.
I'm never really too worried about them, although in the winter when I'm camping, because I've heard them probably more in the winter than any other time. And one time they had to be close because you could hear their like mouth movements, so they couldn't have been very far off. But I'm always wonder, like, because I'll go for a night hike in the winter because you can still see by the moon and because everything's bright. But I always wonder, what if I did come across a pack of wolves? What am I going to do? Hopefully they would run away. You assume they would.
Hopefully you're carrying some sriracha sauce or something to give them a bit of spice.
Well, you know what? If there's an afterlife, then that's your story. How did you die? Oh, I got killed by a pack of wolves. That's a cool story. So
if I'm going out, I'm going out.
Exactly.
Specifically great.
Yeah. Cool quest. What makes an exciting guest to chat with?
An exciting guest to chat with is, for us, I mean, if it's something that we're definitely interested in, something that we know other people will be interested in, and someone that, I mean, has got our sense of humor, and we can just say, ask a question, and off they go. Oh, just rhyming off everything, saying, this is how I did this is what, and you're just, if it mesmerizes us, like, that's cool. And like I say, it doesn't matter if they're canoe trippers or they're kayakers or stand-up paddle boarders. Like just to get that story, and we're like, that's cool, man. And at the end of the day, you're thinking, I gotta try that. Yeah, those kind of people. Yeah,
I suppose if it's how long your podcast normally go?
Anywhere from 52 minutes to 2 hours. I think we did one with Kevin Callan. Was that 3 hours, 4 hours?
Wow.
We divided it into different podcasts.
Oh, I'm getting interrupted by my cat. She's making her first chat appearance. Okay, now you can go.
Yeah, we technically typically do 52 minute 52 minutes to hour 15, hour 20,
Right.
somewhere in there.
So I suppose if you get to the end of that hour or whatever, and you've not had to talk much at all, that's probably a pretty good guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I can say, welcome to Paddling Adventures Radio, I'm Sean, this is Derek. Our guest tonight is this. I asked him a couple of questions. All right, thanks for being on this week.
That's awesome. That's cool.
They're talking away. For all they know, Derek and I left.
That's true.
That's awesome.
Dennis from Canoe Adventures. We all know you have almost found the end of the internet a few times. How is that you keep finding exciting topics for each week's podcast?
You know what? We've been doing this 4 years now, and people do say, you know what, you should rehash some of those old ones you should do, and it's like, I don't want to do that. You want to hear it, go back to, because all our episodes are still online. Like, we haven't taken any of them. So anybody that wanted to start at episode 1 today, it's online, like on any of the places that you download your podcasts and all that. So I don't want to go back to, episode 15 and talk about the crotch pod again or something like that, But yeah, it's just like you start, the way I do it is I'll Google stuff during the day. Like I'll watch the YouTube videos, Instagram, Twitter, and then something will catch my eye. Like somebody's posted a picture or something, and I'm like, what's he got on the front of his canoe? And I'll look at that and I'll just type in blue round things mounted to canoes or something like that. And down the rabbit hole I go.
Nice.
And you don't know what you're going to find. I found coracles that way.
Huh.
Coracles look like an upside down umbrella with the handle taken out that they sit in over in the UK and they paddle. Like one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Look up coracles. We actually did a thing on that.
Wow.
We ended up talking about this log ride over in Japan that you can take. They used to do these big logs together, like a few of them, and it's almost like a dragon going down this gorge, whitewater. And they would put goods and whatnot on it and take it to the villages down.
Huh.
Right? So drop off, here's some whatever you guys need, supplies and that sort of stuff. But then they put the roads in so they don't need it.
Right.
But it's a ride now. It's a tourist ride.
So
it's like
a big giant log flume kind of thing, or?
Oh, this takes log flume to the extreme.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think North America, it would be allowed anywhere. Like, just the insurance and liability alone would put that company out of business the first time something happens,
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, some of the stuff you can find is, like I say, some days we're texting, do you got any topics for this week? I chipped my paddle. And then, like, in 2 hours, apparently you're being bothered, eh?
Yeah, I got my kitty cat sitting behind me.
And in a couple of hours, I'll sit there, oh, you know what I found? And okay, so I'll research that for a couple of days, and we'll discuss things, and then, okay, well, there's our topic.
Nice.
And then you end up talking about it for an hour and a half.
I suppose you should never... Because this could be something that if you're doing these kind of things, either podcasts or you're doing like what I'm doing, this live chats with people, you don't want to ever assume that, they have too many people that follow them, they wouldn't want to be interested in talking. Like, you should always ask, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We actually have people, and I know I've been a bit lax on it. We have a guest blog. Because with our website that we have, paddlingadventuresradio.com, one of the things is the blog. Mm-hmm. So I started putting a couple things on there. But while I'm trying to actually, work for a living to keep the lights on and pay for my multi-dollar kingdom, and do all the some research stuff and then record and all, I didn't have time to keep up blogs. We turned it to a guest blog.
Nice.
And people are saying, we did this trip. Like, would you, write it up, send me some pictures. We'll put it up as a guest blog. Perfect. You can send it out to all your friends, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
That's amazing.
So, and we get different people saying, "Hey, here's an idea," and "Here's an idea," and alrighty,
that's pretty awesome. Cool. We got a few questions to catch up on here. By the way, it's we're about 40 minutes in. We'll go to 50 minutes, an hour max, maybe. Wow. But time flies. When
does.
Alexis Outdoors has a question for both of us. Favorite parts of both winter and summer camping. So let's start summer because we're coming into summer. What's your favorite part of summer?
Paddling trips where there's nobody around. Definitely paddling trips. Far back as possible.
Do you have a preference of lakes or rivers? Like, obviously, you're going to be going on both, but what do you like better?
Yeah. It depends on what the like I say, if it's a big, like a wider river,
yeah,
and more or less straight, I like rivers that way.
Yeah.
I don't mind some rocks. I don't mind, rapid stuff like that. But there's some of the rivers through the grassy areas that are, it's 200 meters, but it took you 7 hours to do it. That sort of stuff. I like lakes. The bigger lakes, I like if I can go, if it's nice, not too wavy, but when the winds come up and all of a sudden you got to fight that big wind sort of stuff.
Yeah. For summer, for me, I like being able to sit around your camp and just relax, and it's nice and warm. Like I rarely, when it's winter, sit around because you get cold. But just setting up a hammock or something and laying in the hammock on a nice day, preferably late summer when there's less bugs. And getting out paddling. Yeah, I find, especially towards the end of winter, I'm really looking forward to getting out paddling again.
Oh, just chomping at the bit right now. Yeah.
Yeah. What about winter? What do you like best about winter?
I like the exploration. I know we'll tow our tents way back, set up camp in the middle of wherever, and then that like the next day you get up. Okay, what are we gonna do? We're putting the snowshoes on. We're doing day pack. Got some things to make a little fire and roast some sausages or something, and just exploring.
Yeah.
Cross lakes and down portages or through the woods, doing some bushwhack and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think for winter, for me, I think the big things, no bugs. There are no bugs at all. The cold doesn't really bother me, even though I cold tent. You cold tent or hot tent?
I've gotten soft. I do the hot tenting now.
To me, that seems like a lot of work to set that thing up. But I find, you dress for, and I think, in some ways, it feels easier. Like, because you can bring more gear. I'm just, lugging it all in on a sled. And so you almost have more luxuries than when you're canoeing, I find. I guess because you're just pulling it all. You can have a backpack, you can pull it, and they're both good. Like, although I don't think I ever really, like, when it gets towards the end of summer into the fall, I'm not ever really looking forward to winter camping as I am looking forward to getting back in the canoe at the end of the winter. But once it's there, I'll go as many times as possible.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the problem is there's not like a switch where all of a sudden, boom, 3 feet of snow falls.
No.
And all right, we're winter. Yesterday was fall, today's winter.
Many of my last late fall trips have turned into winter trips because you're not sure. Is it going to be fall? Is it going to be winter? You arrive.
I've paddled through blizzards before.
Yeah, not fun. Oh, man. Let's see what else we got here. Do you see anything that I've missed on here? Questions. Let's see. I think we are good. Oh, what do we got there? Yeah, Alexis Outdoors. Hot tenting is so much more work for sure. Yeah, but it is warm, I guess. I mean, when I visit people that have the hot tents, and it's nice to go inside.
You haven't seen my car camping hot tent set up, right?
No, I haven't. I got
a wood floor and everything.
Wow. That's
well,
crazy.
My wife she's never been into the winter camping thing, so got the hot tent and figure, okay, well, we're going to take her up. Like Mew Lake has the family day weekend and New Year's and all that sort of thing. So I figured I decided to see, well, how is everybody car camping hot tenting? And they're rolling down these plastic. I thought they had wood under all this.
Oh, no. So you just assumed and you got wood?
I thought, okay, yeah, that's a pretty cool idea. So I got some wood from work. I made this great 10 by 10 floor that I cut up into sections. I just lay it down, then set my tent up. And then people are walking around, oh my God, you got a wood floor in this thing. And we have the disco beds, which is like a bunk bed thing. That it turns into a couch during the day. So that's in there. So we can sit in the couch. We got the stove is right there. So I'm laying on this cot. And at night, all I got to do is take my one arm out, open the stove, throw wood in, close it, put my arm back in. Oh, man, it's like a palace in there.
So do you keep it warm all night?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, up to a point. Because sometimes I'm always in my mind, oh, she's going to be cold up there. Thinking, forgetting that hot air rises.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So I'll throw some more wood in there. Okay, well, now it's nice and toasty. And she's like, can you stop putting wood in the stove?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I'm in my cold tent. I'm fine with it. For the most part, there's only been a few times I've been really cold. But I find it the worst thing. If you are too cold, get up. Go for a hike. Like that's actually the very first thing I do in the morning. My buddy Tim, who I often camp with in the winter, he doesn't like getting up in the morning in the winter because it's cold and he's struggling to get his feet warm, his hands warm. He's trying to light a campfire. First thing I do, I go for a hike, and that gets your body nice and warm. So, yeah.
Oh, you have to. Steve's got another one there.
Okay.
About outrigger canoeing. Have not done that, but I wouldn't mind trying that.
I saw a couple of people on the lake when I was out there one day with outriggers. I guess it was like it looked like kayaks with outriggers, but they weren't sitting low in the kayak. They had these like seats that were up on pole, like they were sitting up quite high,
right?
Like not like almost as like we'd be sitting in a chair paddling the thing. And I thought, wow, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I went through a little thing there and watched a whole bunch of videos on the outriggers and the racing that they do, and found out a couple little tips and tricks. When they switch people off, they actually have people in the water that will, when they go zipping by, change positions.
Oh, wow.
So you pick them up when you're that's just not right. But yeah, the outrigger stuff, I think you could do that right across Lake Ontario.
You probably could, depending on how stable.
You can do it in Hawaii on the ocean.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
That's my theory, and until we test it out, it's a solid theory. And that goes back to your own mistakes problem.
That's right. That's what you'll find out. You'll halfway across. This wasn't a good idea.
Yeah, the idea was this. Yeah.
Actually, just if anybody hasn't, okay, I should be careful. I don't want to recommend people go paddling on one of the Great Lakes if you're don't have some experience, because it can change very quickly, and so be very careful. But there is nothing like. One of the things in the last few times I've gone out there, when it's been calm, I'll sometimes point the canoe facing out into the lake so that I can't see any land in my peripheral vision. And that is such an amazing feeling. It's like it's begging you to keep going and just cross the lake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? Like there's times where you go out there. And we have the Pickering nuke plant over this way as well. And you got to be careful around that. But you go out that way, and just the water, and you look down, and it's just clear. Yeah. And you can see the big, like the salmon at times, and the carp and everything are down there.
I went over a big school of fish, little, like as babies. I thought I was coming over some weeds, but it turned out to be this giant school of swirling fish. And as I paddled over them, they separated. That was pretty amazing, yeah.
But you know what? It's pretty cool if you're paddling and you can look down through clear water and see stuff.
Yeah.
Tobermory is a great one. We went up kayaking up there, and there's all the shipwrecks. And you're looking down and like, okay, there's a shipwreck right there. Kind of spooky, kind of cool.
Yeah, that's amazing. Let's see, what do we got here? Anything else? What else are you? So what do you got planned for yourself in the next little while? Have you planned any trips yet? Even though we don't know for sure if we're able to get out yet.
I've looked at about 20 different areas. Usually I do a bunch of little trips and then a bigger trip. But I've looked at a few areas, sort of thinking, I'm going to do one big trip again. Mm-hmm. I was even actually talking to Jim Baird and said, you've got some experience actually paddling up Hudson's Bay. how long do you think it'll take me to get from Moosonee all the way up to Winnisk? So from up James Bay and across onto Hudson's Bay proper, right? These are just things, that'd be a cool trip. And then you find out, well, there's this. Okay, cross that one off the list. It's all, yeah. There's a bunch of trips that I would like to do. I think it's going to come down to like a September 2-3 week trip.
Yeah.
Instead of all the, a few days here, a few days there, a week trip here, a week trip there, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, somewhere north. Probably going to be doing a lot of local paddling this year as well.
Got my cat bugging me again. Yeah. Yeah, the local paddling's fine, but there is something nice about getting out into the proper wilderness and getting out there.
Yeah.
Have you done much paddling in the U.S.?
No,
neither have I.
it's just one. But I'm sort of get stuck in that. I prefer to go north than south.
Yeah.
Right. And I've looked at areas. We talked about it on this week's podcast, which was released this morning. The Mississippi. I'm not a big source to sea person, but I would not mind taking a couple months and paddling the Mississippi.
That would be kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. There's is it the Katahdin Water Trail over towards the East Coast. I think it goes through Vermont and Maine and stuff like that. We've checked that out before. There's tons I'd love to do out west, of course. But it all comes down to, who's going to go with you and getting everything organized. And then, you're taking a couple days to get there and a couple days back. So there's 4 days gone right off the bat, sort of thing. It's like, hey, look, the Moose rivered up to Moosonee. There's a good shot.
Yeah.
No,
you could easily fall into going to the places that you know and like. And there's nothing wrong with that because there's a reason why you like them. But it is like I'm making a conscious decision this year to try and do a few other places. Like Algonquin, Kawartha Highlands. That's generally where I've been canoeing. And I want to try a few other places as well. Just so that I can, you can have the different experiences.
You know what? And that's exactly it. And like I say, I've looked at places in the South. And I think if I can get people to join up, then you know what, we'll check out it. Like I say, we've been looking at the Mississippi, we've been looking at the Wisconsin River.
Yeah.
There's all those. We were down in Nashville back in September, and we were supposed to go with Jerry Vandiver to do some paddling. I'm like, all right, this is great. Wife gets to go to Nashville, I get to do some paddling, and everything was sort of like in a drought. So we ended up not doing any paddling. I'm just like, really? But I ate barbecue for like 2 weeks straight. I don't think I had a vegetable at all, so it worked out.
That's nice. I'd like to do. I was supposed to actually be going to England in about less than a month, but of course that's canceled. But I was hoping to do, because I had been following some other YouTubers that do camping out there, and they do like some camping in. They don't call it backcountry camping because I don't think they really have proper backcountry, but wild camping, like on the moors and stuff like that. So I'd planned to bring my tent and try and maybe get in touch with one of them, have them take me out. So I think now anytime I think about going anywhere, I'm always thinking, is there a place I can camp or canoe? Like I'd love to canoe some of the canals they have over there, just like because you can go from town to town to town. That would be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, one of our episodes we did. I did this thing I just talked to Derek. Did you know, Derek, that it is possible to paddle completely around the world? And we went through this whole route.
Nice.
I mean, mind you, it goes up the side of Greenland and there's not paddling straight across, But you can go through places. But I mean, having the people all over the world listen to our podcast. We've gotten invites from Nepal. Wow. Hey, if you're ever over this way, we'll take you.
Yeah.
Because, we go to Nepal for the weekend. Australia, there's people down there. England, there's people there. All through the States, people. Yeah, if you're down this way. I mean, with us, that's really worked out well, that we can just send somebody, hey, we're coming down your way. We're coming to the Everglades, and we're coming down to Georgia or wherever. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, we'll take you out. We got some perfect spots. You'll love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I think it's
So-
definitely worthwhile. My kitty cat, Camper 69 likes my cat. Here's my cat once again. She's sitting on the shelf right behind me, pawing me. You may not be able to see her paw in all the shots, but she's going like this. Bam, bam, bam. Anyway, okay, now you can go on the floor.
Alexis Outdoors. Careful asking Jim Baird for advice. Right.
I guess that anybody who's, especially if you're newer at something, you ask someone who's experienced, their idea of what's easy is different than what yours
Oh, that'll be an
is.
easy run down those rapids.
Well, yesterday, I went up with Kelly from Kelly Camps. We went for a day paddle, and we were doing a port.
I got an awesome picture of me though, holding like my big pack and my paddle, and I'm looking off like, oh, I'm the great adventurer. I can't feel my arms, you know. But yeah, when you get in that groove of portages and stuff like that, but if you're not expecting something that long,
I can see if you're, it does make a difference. Expectations is important for sure.
yeah.
Cool. I think we're probably going to wrap up. Is there anything else you wanted to mention, Sean, before we do wrap up?
Listen to Paddling Adventures Radio.
Absolutely. Yes.
Go to paddlingadventuresradio.com to our website. Check out all our social media stuff. Our Facebook page. The Facebook page is the place you'll see us most.
Yeah.
Share the podcast. If you have ideas, send it to us. If you got an idea for a blog, like I say, we got the guest blog. Drop us a line to say, hey, you know what? Here you go.
Nice.
Okay. Send us some pictures.
I can't remember.
Cool.
Do you have a YouTube channel associated with the Paddling Adventures Radio podcast?
We do have our Paddling Adventures Radio YouTube channel. There's a few things up there. We really got to work on the YouTube part of it, you know. But yeah, we got a YouTube channel for Paddling Adventures Radio as well.
Well,
Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah. So find it wherever, on every platform that you're look for it. And I'm sure you'll find them. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dennis's show. Oh, hang on. I'm having some tech issues right now. Hopefully you're hearing all this. We're getting some little interruptions in the broadcast. Anyway, on Canoe Hound Adventures, we did a whole 3 hours talking about filmmaking, and there was a lot of interest in that. So I'm going to do one a little bit more simplified, getting a little less out of the weeds of the technical details, but more on the storytelling techniques and tips. But if you have a YouTube channel and you'd like me to take a look at some of your videos, and if there's anything you want, ideas to improve it, I'll take a look at that and we'll maybe even show some of your clips. So be sure to contact me in either the messages here or send me a message on Facebook through Two Men in a Canoe, and we'll take a look at some stuff there. So we'll be doing a special one on filming for there. But thank you so much again, Sean. Hopefully we should get out and paddle local too. You're not far from me, so
I'm like 10 minutes from you.
Yeah, I know. The parking lots are now open at Duffins Creek. We could go.
Well, I was gonna go on the weekend, and then somebody put in, they put in the dock.
They did,
and everybody's, that's great, that's great, that's great, that's great, that's great. And I'm like, okay, it's gonna be packed now.
Yeah, the weekends will probably be packed, but
but you're South Ajax. I'm North Ajax.
Yeah. Well, so we're not allowed to mingle.
We're not allowed to mingle. I'm north of the tracks.
or you come down, we'll paddle the lake if it's a nice calm day. That's always fun too.
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, and thank you everybody else for watching. It's always good to have people asking us questions as we go through this, and it's great to be able to chat with, sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once here. There we go. Chat with people that, do the same kind of things that I do and different things that I do. So thank you again, Sean, and thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.